Hi, my beautiful little dragonflies. I'm gonna try to speak English in this video just because it's fun, and maybe I'll go viral. That would be so fun. In today's video, I am going to gush about actually, let me start at the beginning. When I was having my morning tea this morning, I have these teas that you get like a poem or like a prediction for the day, and I got this one, and it said, "Ask yourself, who am I and what am I doing?" And I like answered it to myself in a very like groggy morning vibe, and I was like, I'm just like making breakfast and I'm like, I don't know who I am. And I kind of felt like a troll. And now I was just like cleaning the dishes from my breakfast, and I saw that note, and I was like, who am I actually? And one thing, I think Taylor Swift said this, and that it's very me quoting Taylor Swift, but I think she said this, but it was something along the lines of, you, or maybe it's just like a well-known quote, never mind, it's, you are the people you love. And like, of course, I think that I like am like my mother, my sister, my friends, and like those kinds of people, but like I also feel like there's a different kind of like the idols you have, or like the artists you support and look up to. I think actually that, of course, the people you surround yourself with has the like biggest impact, but there's something special of the people that you choose to look up to without even being near them. I think that's very interesting, and I think it's very important for like your sense of self to choose good people to like follow on Instagram or YouTube, or like people you listen to, people you consume art by. I think those are very, very important, and I think they're gonna impact you. Like for me, I think, maybe it's not true, but I think that these people have actually like influenced me more, or like in a more profound deep way than like the people that are actually around me. Or maybe maybe I don't agree with that, because like there's some things that like your friends and your family impact in ways that you maybe don't know, like things that you're not like aware of, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I am made out of, I think I'm just made out of women. I have like some like male idols, like I love George Harrison. It's very basic, but I do. I can't think of anyone else. Like David Lynch, of course. Yeah, there are some men that I truly really love, but they've just slipped my mind right now. But this video is gonna definitely pass the Bechdel test, because here is the book of life, and in this I've written down women that I'm just totally gushing about, like women that have truly like impacted my like young adult life. Because when I like got my first when I got my first iPad, when I was like, I think I was like 13 maybe, I got an iPad, and then and that was like the first time I like started to watch YouTube in like often, because I've before that I've been watching like MTV, and like I watched like Amy Diamond YouTube videos and like like music videos and stuff, which was really great. And like Lady Gaga and Nicki Minaj and Katy Perry. Oh, I love Katy Perry. But I wasn't like watching them as mindfully as I started to watch women, when like YouTubers, and like when I was starting to like consume art in like a real way. And like the two first people that I truly have like that have like really like impacted me was first a girl named Jenny Bourne. She had a YouTube channel called Where I Live, and she changed it to Jenny Bourne, just her name, but in my mind she's still Where I Live. But like it's mostly, I think it's better to have your name on your YouTube page. I just realized mine's Honeysuckle. So it's gonna be hard when I get famous, guys. So hard. But she was one of like the first like wellness girls I watched, but she did like wellness in a very like mindful way. I can't use that word, like it's tainted for me now with the demure thing. Like I think it's a very funny, I think demure and mindful are very funny, but yeah, I can't use the words without thinking of that now. But she did it in like a very nice way. She was vegan for a long time, and she did all these recipes, and she loved cooking, and she also like introduced me into spirituality and like yoga in some ways, and also like watching fitness in a healthy way. She like really taught me to like, you work out to feel good, not to look a certain way, which was like mind baffling for my like 13-year-old head that just had this idea that I was doing stuff wrong and that I just like needed to work out to be like pretty, which is so sad. Like I was 13 or like 14, and now I'm turning 22. 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. That's insane. Well, yeah, it's just crazy to me. But she like had a very like healthy way of viewing like food and fitness, and also like spirituality. And I think like she must have been like one of the first people ever that I like came across that were like spiritual. She did like, and she wasn't even like, now when I've like been on my spiritual journey, I wouldn't even like say she's like super spiritual. I think she's definitely spiritual, and it's also like you can't really like compare it, because that's just like you can't compare it. It's very it's impossible to compare spirituality, but I'm just saying is like it isn't like the biggest part of her like YouTube channel. And she talked a lot about like the books she was reading, and she did like interior decor, and also like so much self-help books. And like she talked about like, and she was actually, now that I think about it, the first like person I saw going to therapy, like just because I feel like I had this idea of like that therapy was like only for like really sick people, or like not sick people. That sounds very, but like that that therapy is something for people who have like severe issues, and also you can compare how severe your problems are, but like normal is also so weird, but like she normalized therapy, I can say that, and that was like something that was also very like reality changing, I guess. So she is someone that I've watched for a really long time, and I think the next one is also a YouTuber, but she's like, I view her more as an artist. I also like view Jenny as an artist too in many ways, but the next one is called Purple Palace, or Shayna Klee. She is an American that moved to France, and she just like does these like art vlogs, and she went to Paris Fine Art School, and she has put out like poetry books, and she does journal books that you put like journal prompts, like books with journal prompts in them, and she does painting, she does sculpture, and now like this past like few years she started to do music, and I listen to her a lot, and she does these affirmations, and she has like actually changed my brain chemistry. And that's like so weird to say, but I'm just, all of these women I'm gonna talk about, I'm so thankful for having come across them, because like I truly don't think, or maybe I probably would, but like I wouldn't have gotten here to where I am right now as quickly as I have, as I would have with them, without them. But thanks to them, I'm me so much more quickly. But she has actually like changed my brain chemistry. I think if I have to choose like one of all these women I'm gonna talk about, this, she's it for me. She just like, she's changed the way that I like think and like perceive myself. I think before I like found Shayna, I was prone to like falling in like a negative downwards thinking spiral. I was like always like thinking what could go wrong, what am I doing wrong, I am wrong, all these things. And she like introduced like words of affirmation, and in the beginning it seemed like mumbo jumbo, which now it's like I think there's like actual research and studies on this, or maybe it's just placebo, but no, I don't think it's placebo. But what am I saying? But like words of affirmation, she has changed my brain chemistry, and it sounded like mumbo jumbo in the beginning, because like, but I think there's actual like studies that like, of course what you think affects like your mood, that is like reasonable, but also like how what you think of yourself actually physically projects and resonates into your daily life. I think if you say something is gonna go wrong, and if you think it will go wrong, and that kind of like gave me a lot of anxiety in the beginning when I like learned about words of affirmation. But now when I like have kind of changed the way that I think and the way that I combat different difficulties, I know that like if I go into like something that I like think this is maybe not like the best thing, but if I still like practice like gratitude and like, okay, this may not like be the best outcome, and maybe this is not what I wanted initially there's a hidden gem here for me, and there's a hidden there's a hidden message, there's a hidden lesson here, there's something I am meant to be where I am right now in this moment. And that is something that I'm like constantly reminding myself of. And I'm so thankful for Shayna for that, teaching me that, because it's like honestly so important to believe that every time like something goes wrong, quote unquote, there's something that is meant to happen, or like, of course, like not like wars and like what is happening like in Palestine, or like, I don't know, getting like abused or like anything like that. I don't agree that it's like meant to happen, of course, but like these like very trivial things that could like fuck up your day, those kinds of things, they have hidden messages, they have hidden teachings that you will earn from, and they are so important that you like grab them by the balls. Shayna always says, there's always a lesson in this, there's always something hidden in this, and she always like, and she always reminds me to like ask the universe, what is a great surprise I can have today? What's a surprise? What's a present that God will give me today? And like when you're like looking for that, or like when you're like just open to receiving gifts from the universe, you will. And that is like crazy, because like if I had told that to my like 14-year-old self, I would be like, girl, you're on crack or something. But if I would have said that to like my 6-year-old self, I would be like, yes girl, of course there's so much magic in the world, why would you not believe in magic and fairies and like unicorns and stuff? And that's like, this whole journey is just like getting back to my childhood self that was not like indoctrinated by society's norms, which is kind of insane. Like I'm kind of going backwards, but like also forward. And I've talked for like 18 minutes and I have so many women to talk about. Ugh, I love women so much. They are so cool and creative. My next woman that I been like obsessed with, that reminds me of someone else I need to write down. But someone that I've like came across, or like I've always known about her since I was little, but like she has truly like impacted me or inspired me the last like couple of years, like 2 or 3 years, and she's Erika Badu. I like, first of all, her music is absolutely amazing. I always like put her music on when I need to get in a better frequency, when I feel myself getting kind of anxious. She's like perfect for that. But also like her personality in itself is something that is like a personality I've never like come across before. And she's like, she doesn't take any crap. And like, I guess Sheena Klee also, she also does that. And I think that's very good for me, because I'm very prone to people pleasing tendencies, as I think a lot of women are, which is why I think it's so important for girls and women and like old ladies and everyone to like surround themselves around women who doesn't give a crap and doesn't let people walk all over them. Because I tend to do that, or like I don't do that anymore. I never let people walk all over me. But I have those tendencies still, and that's like my fight or flight response to just like fold and let people do what they want and treat me however they like. Because I am a very kind person, but I also associate kindness with not listening to my boundaries, which is not the same, which is something that I'm learning. But like Erika, she's just so badass and she's so cool. Yeah, it was cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her strings were cut off. Actually, I need some milk in my tea. But like Erika Badu, yeah, this woman, I don't like. I think I'm having such a hard time describing her because like she's a tough one to like catch. She's hard to understand. I love me a mysterious woman because I am a mysterious woman myself. I wish, or no, maybe I am. Maybe I am a little bit actually. Yes, I am. I'm so mysterious. It's crazy, guys. But she's just like, she wears like her bells on her feet, and she like put like, she made this like cannabis flavor that smells like her coochie, and she just like talks a lot about her music and her art and just like describes it in a very, she's also like, I don't like none of these women, I don't think I need to explain them, but I think most of you know about these women, but I'm gonna describe them anyways. She like views her music as something so spiritual and just getting close to God, and it's so nice to also see like a very spiritual woman being so like carefree. I feel like a lot of people like in the like spiritual like communities are like very like calm, very mindful, very demure, like very like they have to like look a certain way and they like act a certain way. And I feel like Erika Badu, she has like no ideas of how she should and should not look and how she should and shouldn't behave, and that is so freaking freeing. And I think that's something that I really want to like become. I want to be this absolute carefree person, because I've realized these like last couple 2 years maybe that I'm very obsessed with looking good, which actually if I would have told my like 15-16-year-old self that, she would think I'm so cringe, because like I was walking around with my space buns and my weird baggy ass like dungarees that looked like, actually they looked awful because they had such a bad fit. They were like tight in weird places and like loose in places where it shouldn't be loose. It was not a vibe. But and like glitter hair ties and like a choker and no makeup, no bra because I was free like that, and I had like chunky socks, while like that was not the fashion of my school at that time. You should like, the fashion was to wear like juicy couture leggings or like cute bell bottom leggings and like a cool hoodie and stuff, which is like no shame. That was like cute, and that was very slay of them to like do that. And I was like, but that was like not my journey at that time. But I feel like nowadays I'm so much more looks oriented, if that's if that's something you can say. I'm very like beauty focused, which also I wouldn't say that that fits me, and I wouldn't say that if you like see me on the street or like perceive me in daily life, I wouldn't say that people who like perceive me would say that I am obsessed with my looks. I don't think I look like I'm obsessed with my looks, if that makes sense. I think I look like I care about fashion. I think it looks like I look like I'm artistic, but I don't think that people would know how much I like stare into the mirror and like question like my features and the way that I am made. I truly didn't care a crap. I was so freed from that when I was like 15, but now I'm in like a period of my life when I'm very, very obsessed with that. Or maybe I actually did care when I was 15 as well, but I acted like I didn't, so I remember it as that I didn't. Yeah. Another woman, Caroline Polachek. I could talk about this beautiful artist forever. Her aesthetics are like so, she's just like so creative. She's like so creative, and she's so like talented in what she does. Like her going to teaching herself operatic vocals when she was like in her 20s, just because she felt like it, and now she's like using them on like a professional level with like hyper pop music that she has like self-produced. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Like, she knows everything about like music to be known. She knows how to produce all music by herself, and I think that's something that's very, very cool, because also to be a woman and to like make it in like especially like the music industry, but I think like a lot of like artistic industries, you have to know everything. You have to know the shit. You have to know like how to make your own paints. You have to know how to like reach out to these certain galleries. You have to know how to produce music. You have to know which people to contact to get your book signed and published. You have to know every step of the way. And all these women, they create the market, and they create the opportunities that they need, because there are none. Like, okay, of course there are like some opportunities, and also like there are like privileges with like social class and different things like that makes you have more or less different opportunities. But as like women overall have less opportunities, that is just like a fact. I think that's why like women and that is why women have to work so much harder, and that is why there are so many talented women all over, and Caroline Polachek is like one of them. Another artist that I am gonna speak about, like, I'm halfway through my list. I think I'm gonna speed it up because it can't get this much longer. Just like it can't. It literally can't. Hilma af Klint. She's actually the first Swedish girl boss on this list, and she's also dead, unfortunately. But like, fun fact, I am Hilma af Klint reincarnated, and I think that's why I feel so close to her, because like I am her, she is me, and I've known about her for a long time, but I feel this just last year I had this realization that I actually am Hilma reincarnated, because I was reading like her book and I was like, shit, mother. I could like talk about her and her like lesbian lover and her like female friends that like channeled all these like spirits to so that they were able to like create these monumental paintings. The big 10, I think they're called. I don't know what they're called in English, but like, yeah, her 10 like big paintings that go through like from birth to like death, and they just like, they're abstract paintings, and she was like the first actual abstract painter like ever documented. However, like a man came before her because she locked up all her paintings because she was like, the world is not ready for this. I girl bossed too hard, and now I have to lock my paintings up. I say my, but like they were actually like her and her 4 other friends paintings. They all like contributed, so I would actually, they are like a group painting project. Anyways, like these paintings are, they are too much for the world right now, and like the patriotic this like fucked up society that I live in, she lived in like the 1800s, like 1912 or something, I don't really remember, but she like lived like a little bit more than 100 years ago. They are not ready for a woman creating this. They just aren't. And she also did sketches of where she wanted her paintings to be put up in like what kind of gallery. So she made like sketches of the Met and like a spiral in the Met Museum in New York, and that is like actually insane because the Met wasn't even like built, but she like drew the Met Museum. It's so like, she was like so amazing. I think she was like meant to be like the star of her 5 friends, but still, I think Anna Cassett, I think she's called Anna Cassett. Anna, her lesbian lover. They were friends, actually. Sorry, they were friends. But I think the other women like really deserve credit as well. But the way she and those women like painted is something that has like impacted my artwork like forever. I am always gonna like channel and meditate before I do art, and I think it's just, they do it in a way that I want to do it as well, and that has just like inspired me. And they told me to, it's like, okay, my own art process is okay. I don't have to have like a certain, I don't need to like follow like guidelines of how to do art. My own like rhythm and my own clock can teach me how to do art in a way that's right for me. I can't do art in any other way than my way. My way or the highway. So those were like the most important women of my life as of right now. I am gonna like speed through the rest of the women on my list because I can't have them unmentioned. Jesus, they're so important to me. So I'm just gonna do that now. The first one on the rest of the list is Kate Bush. Like, I am basic. What can I say? She is a visionary. She is amazing. Her music truly like captures each and every one of us. Love and Anger is my favorites of her. That album has truly like changed my life. Of course, Hounds of Love is also up there. Cloud Bursting, the song on Hounds of Love, that's like a, yeah, that song is gonna stick with me forever. Another artist, Dana Schultz. I saw her in Louisiana, in Denmark, on the Louisiana Museum, not in the US. And she taught me that she's a painter, and she like does she's also like kind of Bible inspired, but she does these really like grotesque, super big fucking ass paintings, and they're so cool. And the way she's like painting, she like slaps on the paint and she uses like so much of it, and it's like very like not fucking around, but she's also really fucking around. She's like, ugh, and like throws the paint and like with her hands. And like I saw one of her biggest paintings, and it was like, I think it was like 10 meters by 2.5 meters. It was so big. It was like actually so huge. And she's like, yeah, I'm like, it's very rare to see a woman get that much space in an art museum, and that was just like really refreshing. Another woman I like to talk about is FKA Twigs. This girl, she really did it for me. She really did it for me. And I think like she's kind of like a Roman Empire, and I think she deserves so much more from society than what she has gotten. I think she has gotten so much like undeserved hate, which is like ridiculous, just because she was like together with Robert Pattinson, and people were like mad about that. That is actually like insane. Oh, makes me yawn when people are sexist. Another woman is Ethel Kane. She was like, introduced me to like, oh, by the way, girly, you might have religious trauma. And that has been like such a nice lesson to learn. That has been so interesting. Okay, it has been very interesting, but it has been like very like damaging for my like view of what God is, but also like very transformative. And it's been like so important and impactful for my faith and my beliefs. And I don't think that I would sit here today and like study Christianity and theology if it weren't like for some like inspirations and her inspiring me. She's also just like, her aesthetics are just such a vibe. She's so cool. Next one is SZA. I think Normal Girl is probably my most played song ever, like in life. I think if you would like take a Pauline Wrapped, it would be like Normal Girl, SZA, and like her whole album Control. I can't stop listening to it. I'm actually trying not to listen to it because it kind of like, it makes me so calm. It's like my comfort blanket, but I feel like I can't like have that as my lifeline. I need to like feel good without listening to that album, if you know what I mean. Because now I need it so bad, it gives me anxiety if I don't listen to it, and I feel like I need to be detached. But so good. So good. Another woman is Carissa Love. She's also a YouTuber, and she's a poet. She does these Shakespearean poems she has written, and she recently put out a poetry album. Like, who wouldn't want to listen to a woman like telling like a Shakespearean poems. Like, she's Shakespeare, but a woman. That makes it like 10 times better. Also, Stevie Nicks. Also, basic, is it? Yes, but like, we love a witch that says you'll never get away from the woman who loves you. You never will. Like, you never will. And I'll never get away from Stevie Nicks, and I'm just so thankful for that. I just love Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, such. Tango in the Night, my favorite album of theirs. Also, like, a fictional character, Phoebe Buffay. I think she has like also like impacted my brain chemistry. I think she's actually like changed my personality. I want to be as weird as Phoebe Buffay, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get there, but she's like so weird, and it's just like amazing. And yeah, love that woman. She does her music videos are so beautiful, and I love her music so much. Feels like a fairy tale. Also, Elizabeth Fraser from Cocteau Twins. I actually saw her live this summer. I have like seen Elizabeth Fraser in real life. I don't think I could die now. I think that is like the coolest thing that like has ever happened to me, and I think, and like no one gets it. Like I was there with my friend, and we both talked about this after, because I've like told other people that I saw her this summer, and like no one I've talked to like knows who she is, and no one gets how cool it is. And like I'm so, also I kind of love it, because I'm like, that's kind of very mysterious, because I can't get to gatekeep Elizabeth Fraser, but like how do people not get how cool Elizabeth Fraser is? It's kind of weird. Yeah. Anyways, she's like, yeah, she's just like so beautiful, amazing, greatest singer alive. I think Caroline Polachek is like a little bit better. Sorry. But also Elizabeth Fraser, she makes up her own words. And she has such a unique voice. Okay, I can't compare them. I think just like Caroline Polachek is like technique. She has the technique of a sick. Also, Caroline is. I just need to mention this with Caroline Polachek. She is so mysterious. She's so fucking mysterious. Like, I just like started listening to Caroline Polachek, and I was like, ugh, I wish there was more music. And then I like found Chairlift, the band she was in like 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, sick. There's like a couple nice albums. Crying in Public has been like one of my favorite jams from Moth, her album, and I was like, it's over now. And then I like found Ramona Lisa. She does opera and classical music, and like mixed with pop under like a different name. Like, what is that about? What is that about? And like, she never talks about it, and I'm just like so like, who is it? What's the backstory? Is it like Ethel Cain with like the whole like concept album? What's the deal? And I don't know who she is. Like, I could talk about that for hours. And like, then I find that Caroline like does these like mini songs and like EPs like all over, spread all over on Spotify, and there's like so much, and like she does like instrumental music under like a different name. Like, just put it all under one name. Like, I need to dig to find more music out of Caroline, but I always find more, which keeps me in the loop, and it keeps me interested, and it keeps me hooked on the feeling. Another woman that I'm like obsessed with like right now is Helena Bonham Carter. I think it's just because it's fall, but also I've been like listening and like reading a lot of her poems. Like, this queen is a poet, let me tell y'all. She's a great writer, and she like has a great view of what poetry is. And yeah. That is it, I think. But I am sure I'm gonna beat myself up because I'm gonna I'm gonna remember a lot of other women that I love as well. But that is all the women that I can think of right now. And if any of the women that I've talked about watches this, Hilma, I'm talking to you. Thank you so much for like raising me, literally. Yeah, I love you all.